Hey everybody, Jason from On to Play Games. Just want to take a quick moment before we get started with today's video to give a shout out to Crystal Tower Games. I want to let you know that this is a local online store to the Charleston area, and you can pick up set 5 products from them. One of the things that they are offering is all of the uncommons and commons, a full play set of them at $50. So if you're interested in getting in cheap to set 5 and picking up your uncommons and commons and then selecting your rares and legendaries after that, you can get into a full play set of uncommons and commons by just touching base with Calendar in our OTPG Discord. The link will be down below, and Crystal Tower Games link to their website will also be there as well. Check that out at $50. It's a heck of a deal. Get you started off and get into a real nice deck, especially right before the Worlds event. So touch base with him, and we're going to get started with the video. Hey everybody, it's Jason with On to Play Games, and I got some exciting news to share with you for this weekend. As you know, this site, or this channel, is dedicated to primarily 2 games, Star Wars Unlimited and Magic the Gathering. 2 games I love personally. I've been a Magic player for 30 years, not to give away my age, and Star Wars has been a really great game lately to play for the past year, almost year and a half now. But both those worlds are colliding this weekend at the zoo. That's right, Animal House Cards is doing both events. They're starting their first one on the right side there, you see, is a double invite modern RCQ starting at noon. So I recommend right around 11 to 11:30 showing up. They are going to be collecting their entry fees and doing their registrations day of. I talked to Kevin last Saturday. That's what their plan is. So make sure you show up for that. It is a competitive REL event, so your deck lists are going to be required. And at $35, that is just an amazing entry point for a double invite RCQ. It just really is. Most times you see those at like $40, $45. So this crazy value there. So I'm going to be playing that for sure. I'm looking for my second Nicol Bolas pin from the season, and I'd love to get that invite or a chance to get another chance at one of those invites. I had a chance at the invite and negotiated my way out of it at the May 17th one with Miguel, who just happens to be the judge that's going to be at this one here. Matter of fact, he messaged me while I was putting together this graphic, so it was kind of interesting how those synergies kind of collided also while I was putting the graphic together for this video, and he's very excited about the judging of this event. So I'm very happy to see him as a judge. He's an excellent player and very knowledgeable of the game, and he's going to make a lot of great calls. Can't wait to see him out there. He's just an awesome dude, and everybody else, Jack, all these other guys are going to be out there, just awesome friends. Also, right after that at 8 p.m. For $25, we're going to be doing the store showdown for the Star Wars Unlimited Set 4, which has the Devastator promo, which has got your champion promo, 2 finalists, 4 of the top 4s, and 8 top 8 versions of the card to hand out, in addition to prize support. So kind of keep your eyes out for that. I'll be playing that as well. By the time I'm done for the night, they're probably just going to have to drag me out back and just close the door. Just leave me like out there with the trash in the back, because I'm going to be exhausted. But it's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Can't wait to do it and just kind of run the gauntlet almost like it was a planetary qualifier or something, like some big event on the weekends. But it's going to be a great time. Also, by the way, congratulations to Kevin and everybody at the shop. Animal House Cards having the premier status, I believe is what they're calling it, with Wizards of the Coast. That is not an easy thing to do. And they are now top of the hill when it comes to Magic shops. So just want to put out, my appreciation for the efforts they've put into making their shops so successful, especially inside a mall. So they are in Northwoods Mall. If you're not familiar, just make sure you park somewhere close to the Planet Fitness, and then the main mall entry or entrance, the bigger one, not the one right by Planet Fitness, but the one that's kind of to the right of it, is going to be where you want to come in, and that'll put you right next to where you want to be. And also, when you're leaving later that night, that's where they exit out. It's the easiest way to get out of the mall from that point there. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there. Right after the bumper here, we're going to be looking at some Star Wars Set 5 decks that I've been kind of tinkering with. Nothing spectacular, but just showcasing a couple of decks and just kind of cherry picking a few games to show some of the power level and power creeps that these decks have coming out of the next set. And we're going to be doing that off of Karabas or Patronaki Arena. And that's how we're going to wrap up the video. So we'll see you on the other side of this. All right, so this is the final version that I've kind of tweaked out for this deck. It started with the one that was played by Veiled Shot. I liked a lot what was going on with his list. Certainly was good. One of the things that I noticed that he had done is he only had 2 Yodas, he only had 2 Kellerans in there. So I felt like that's the big payoff for this deck, is those 2 cards, along with Luke Skywalker. He also didn't have the old school Set 1 Obi-Wan in there. I felt like just for canon and for flavor, just go ahead and have it in there, so you'd have like 3 different timelines of Obi-Wan represented in the deck. I just thought that would be kind of cool. Plus, it is another big payoff to be able to do like turn 1 Jedi Counselor, turn 2 play out a unit, and then turn 3 put out Obi-Wan is pretty strong, and definitely something, you know, to think about. Even being able to be like turn 1 put out a unit, turn 2 put out General's Blade, and then turn 3 Obi-Wan. All right, let's go against Kanan. I just mulligan without even looking. That was a blind mulligan. That was great. And I have all space units with none of my value cards. All right, so put one of these away, and I'll put them both away. He's a 2/5. 7 points of Value Town on the table. You know, that's just silly. Fucking Jedi, the Jedi lightsaber. Oh, all right. And I have to get an experience token over here. Keep him alive. He'll go to base. Oh no, surprised he didn't go to base. All right, I claim initiative, and he drops a 2-drop in play. Yep. All right, no problem. We got a Concord Dawn Interceptor in the space arena to handle that. We just keep getting these high on the curve cards. This is going to be the blowout turn, though. That was a good play. And then we get an experience counter over here. Oh, I keep forgetting me. Hands up shield counters. And that's cool, because I'm just going to take the Concord Dawn Interceptor and kill this guy. He claimed initiative. I'm going to pass. And we have some options. We have some options. He goes way too high up on the curve. I got 3 of them in the deck, so I'm going to go ahead and resource 1. We do have that guy dying. We'll go ahead and attack him for 2, see what he does. Also put out Hara. Okay. I think we get more value out of playing the Sentinel. And then deploy. I took the initiative. And that's fine. I'll put the damage. Let's put the damage on your base. So next turn's Obi-1. That's going to be great. I have 2 very, very powerful Sentinels that he has to deal with. Do you want to use the Force? So he does 2 less damage. Minus 2, minus 2 is 2 less damage. Yeah, we'll use the Force. Now my turn back. Big brick. Yeah, we'll do that. That's cool. I'm swinging in for 2. You're hitting my Sentinel. I'm claiming initiative. And you play a 5-drop of some sort. Alright. Nope, didn't do any of that. Cool. We're still sitting. Do we have a chariot still out? No, we don't. Okay, cool. We got another Sentinel we can put out. This guy gets stupid. We have the Luke that we can play now. He can't get as stupid as I want him to get because I don't have the other card. I already used it. But, yeah, we'll put him down. Alright, so I attack for 5. He attacks here, then I attack for another 5. So first thing is I'm going to attack for 5. Big, did he bounce him? Oh, he killed the other guy. Got it. Alright, good. Then I can Luke Skywalker. I want maximum value out of Luke Skywalker. So get the one that's already shielded. That's a big Luke. You have 2 cards. You got 1 attack left. I claim the initiative. I'm gonna claim the initiative. 2 points of damage is not that important. Got another Luke. Well, my Luke beats your Luke. That's for sure. So yeah, so my Luke into your Luke. That'll restore some points. Probably should attack the base. honestly, and raced them. Because now I can just trade. Oh, or do that. That's pretty cool. But I have a lot of options. Just a lot of options. His pulls were not that great, to be honest with you. I'm totally fine with Cannon Jars and Sabine's Masterpiece. Especially good lord, it's such a tedious task to cast this card. There we go. Now, no matter which one he kills, I have something I can ram into it next turn. I'm going to attack the base, most likely. I can put out Yaddle. Yeah, attack the base. And then I put out Yaddle. And then I put an experience counter on it. Okay, cool. Gotta remember if my leader died that the same turn or not. But that worked out. Okay, we're sitting in a pretty good place. Especially since there's a Luke in my hand. I've got another Sentinel, a takedown. You know, multiple ways of dealing with the Sabine's Masterpiece. He put down a creature that's going to ambush into my Yaddle, probably. Yep. That makes sense. The good news is I get to just play a Luke. The bad news is I only get to play a Luke. Yep, we get to play a Luke. And we get to take that out. You put out another Sabine Masterpiece. That's funny. Okay. Well, we have to make our Luke bigger. That's fine. You put the shields on it. That's all fine and dandy. But I just do a takedown and it's dead. All right, General's Blade is pretty sweet, especially on this. Sweet trade, bro. I'm just gonna start swinging. The one that he can't kill yet, the one that he can kill, I'll push in first. And then that is, I think that's GG. Into the base. Alright, yeah, that worked out okay. It is going to be against Garsax in yellow. And this is pretty meta. Or I would imagine that the deck should be pretty meta. We're going to be looking at a lot of shielded units, or units that drop in other experience tokens, what have you. We need to be careful about the Darth Vader. That's going to be definitely in this list. And the new yellow Force, play a Force unit ambush card. It does not require you to have the Force, but if you have the Force, you get to then give a -2/-2, I think it is, to the defender. Let's see here. What do we got? We do have a General's Blade. Do we have something cheap enough to play it? We do have a Yaddle. So Yaddle and the General's Blade would be pretty good. So I am not going to mulligan. Now, do I drop 2 Yodas? I gotta drop 1 of each. Probably should drop both the Yodas just because Luke's lower on the curve. But really, What am I going to do? You know? And this worked out okay. I really want to keep this, so I'm going to put this away. I'm going to go ahead and give. He didn't immediately kill my unit, so that's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and give it a experience token first. See what happens. Okay, didn't immediately die. Now we put the General's Blade on it. Why did the General's Blade on? Okay. Man, the game is so laggy. And I'm just going to go in for 6. And then we'll pass. Got another General's Blade. I also got a General's Counselor. I'm almost tempted to do 2 General's Blades on the thing. But no, we're going to go ahead and go with the Forces with me if they don't immediately kill the Yaddle. Because we're only up to 6 drops right now. Oh, they're just going to base space. Okay. That kind of changes things. Just a little bit. 3 for a 4 reduction. So I could put another General's Blade on Yaddle. Hopefully they don't kill it. We're crossing our fingers here now. If they don't kill it, I can also play Bright Hope. And then next turn, Yoda. Definitely got them thinking. They are the first strike. Okay, that's fine. I at least get to go in the base for 9. Now I just have a double cost reduction. Pass. Okay. Not the worst position to be in. Definitely not the best. We may have to change gears and go this direction. Because he's definitely going to kill the Yaddle. There's no doubt. Okay. Interesting. That means I can do... Interesting. Just do this. Yes, I'm going to attack into the base. Alright. That is what I figured they would do. I will deploy. That's totally fine. Claim initiative. Okay, I can now do some fun stuff. So that'll take me to 6, 5. I think I already have things kind of locked up on the ground. Or in the air, I should say. I am going to blue leader. Yeah, I'm going to blue leader. Confirm these. Yes. I don't know why they always do this. Anyway, yes, the ambush attack, and I'm going to ambush. Go ahead and ambush the big one. All right. Let's see what if he trades off or not. I'll take the 2 for 1. That's not bad. This is inching us closer and closer to Yoda. Okay. Q. Swinging into the base. I mean, you got 6 resources, dude. You flip your leader this turn. And you're the one claiming initiative here. Jedi Counselor is going to have to go to the resources. I will say the Jedi Counselor does match up really well with the basic 25-point bases, or at least the base with it. You know, this particular base, the Virgin Temple. It's one of the better. I mean, it's got the 4 toughness, and it lets you play things at 2 less. I mean, 2 less. It's like double resupply. I mean, it really has a lightning rod on it, and I don't think. I mean, players may not realize it right off the top of, you know, right from the start, that it is that dangerous. And I think my opponent's just disconnected. I mean, I don't know if you noticed in the comment section, we got we got the see you next Tuesday, and they disconnected. So yeah, we're just gonna go claim the victory. They had some angles. I mean, it's 4 cards in hand and 6 resources. Hadn't deployed their leader yet. This was, I think, last turn was their deploy turn. They were going to be going up against me, bringing out 2 units, because I will tell you, Kelleran is absolutely busted. He's so good. He's better than the original Vader. He really is. The 7/7 body, even though you're giving up the ambush, the 7/7 body is insane. The fact that they made him a 7/7, 4/7 is so relevant, because he would, if you could ECL him out, and it's almost worth putting in like a couple of timing reinforcements, or timing interventions, excuse me, to be able to ECL him out and have that ambush, is what I mean to say, because he is so good. But yeah, anyway, that was a decent game there with the most recent changes to the deck, so I'm pretty happy about that one. Worked out well. Matter of fact, didn't even feel like there was a game there. I don't know what my opponent was trying to do. So we will go on to the next one and see what we find. Just doing open games here. And ooh, some Vader Red. Vader Red. So we're going to be at a disadvantage if we don't have our Concord Dawn Interceptors and our blue leaders and things like that to deal with these early units. And right here, I don't see enough air support. Do have the Rivals Fall, and they to turn 1 Yaddles. No, I got to take a mulligan. This is a little better. At least have some air units. I don't have a turn 1 play. I do have a Shatter Point. That's not bad. So what we'll do is I'll give up this Sentinel. And I'll give up... The Luke is going to be a little bit late. I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, but right now I'm just in a bad spot as far as turn 1 plays go. I'm going to have to go ahead and just claim initiative and put down, probably just put down a Concord Dawn Interceptor or Blue Leader into his first turn play. So yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. Blue Leader into the first unit he plays. Hopefully he doesn't play 2 units. Hopefully he doesn't play a unit with a 3 power. He does get 2 units down, but at least only one of them is an actual unit. So that's pretty nice for us. I really love to get the Yaddle out. That's more important to me right now than even really the Concord Dawn Interceptor. Because at some point I got to get that General Blade online. But I think we'll just do this. Because the blue leader is going to give us a significant advantage, especially if he plays like a pilot to try to then trade with it. Because that's like basically a 3-for-1. Because it'll be, you know, his actual card he played plus the token plus the other cards. It'll be like a 2.5 cards, you know. So anyway, putting that out, we're just going to ambush. We're going to go right into that, so he can't start generating those tokens unless he has an ambusher himself. Then I'll put the Sentinel out, which can just ping away at any of his tokens. And once the Concord Dawn Interceptor's out, whoa, he just put Vader on that bad boy. I have to claim initiative, and I'm glad I kept the takedown. I wonder if he's just going to attack into my unit. I'm kind of hopeful that he just... Yeah, that's what I wanted him to do. I'm so glad he did that. I'm so glad he did that. That is great. It says we're fighting an air battle right now. Well, let's put that down. So he still has not put a unit into play that has generated him a token. That's important. That's very important. We have 2 Sentinel units. We're actually looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with where we're sitting. Our opponent is going to have to potentially overwhelming barrage, but I'm going to try to keep him off of the ability to do so. He might be conceding. I wouldn't blame him. All right, so he decided not to concede. Very proud of him. But what we're going to do is we are going to do a takedown, and that's I'm fine with that being our play for the for the turn. He didn't get to ping us plus ping the base. Now he has to play something, and why is he missed a resource. I mean, you know what my first play is going to be. That's kind of unfortunate, but well, I think he just quit. That's sad because I mean I did have a nice position in the game, but he should have had 4 resources down, and with that takes him off his curve. His next play was probably something with a shield, or at least 2 units, and yeah, he just disconnected. That was unfortunate. Okay, that was a couple of quick games just to kind of highlight some of the things that are going on for set 5. As you can see, General's Blade is going to be a major player in the next set, especially with the number of Jedi that we have in the next set and the Force units. It really is like 2 resupplies. At the end of it all, I came up with this list that includes the resupplies. I know I showed you this earlier. There were some cards I took out. I dropped the Shatter Points. I wasn't really impressed with them as much as I thought I would be. There is something nice about being able to take out a to be able to take out a unit if you have the Force for 4 and having that cost reduction, but you're really paying a Force synergy there, so that Force synergy might be worth as much as a resource. So you're kind of trading off one type of resource for another, and I feel like that's not enough for what the card cost at 4. And then on the flip side, if you're not using the Force, you're killing a unit that only has 3 toughness, and that is not worth 4 resources. So all in all, I feel like Shatterpoint is not as great of a card. Of course, I'm sure someone will break the card and prove me completely wrong, so these are just my opinions from some of the games that I've played with the cards. So I go back to the old school, give me my couple of Fell to Dragons, and still Takedown is, to me, the best removal spell that the game has to offer until it rotates out. It just doesn't say non-leader. So with that, I'm going to go in that direction almost every time. I also made sure to bring in the extra Yoda and the extra, the two Obi-Wans. I think they are really great. I brought in resupply just to kind of shore up getting to those big 7 and 8 drops that are in the deck. I think the deck could use some more 5 drops to really take advantage of the Jedi Counselor and the General's Blade plays. And maybe squeezing in a 2-drop might not be bad. Another set of 2 drops in there somewhere. The Axe, he's great, and he can be super explosive, but he's very conditional, where maybe bringing back in the Battlefield Marine that was part of the original list from the deck list that I started with from Veil Shots video might be the way to go. But overall, the deck is really fun. I do think that the Concord Dawn Interceptors being brought into the list was a overall positive. The Bright Hope is definitely a card you got to have in there, and with the blue leaders, that kind of shores up your air or space arena in a way that the original list I was playing with didn't. And so with that little bit of extra you saw in our Vader matchup, it gave us the ability to kind of stall him out and keep him from being able to get his token generation online, and he eventually just quit. You saw in our matchup against Gar Saxon where I took a big risk in having only 1 unit out against a villainy vigilance deck, where they could play things like Power of the Dark Side. He had 1.4 resources. He could have done a Fell the Dragon. There were a lot of just destroy target unit or defeat target unit cards that he could have played that he, I guess, just didn't have in his hand. So my turn 1 drop, which I believe was Yaddle in that game, I was able to put 2 General's Blades, and in one of those turns I was able to lay a General's Blade with 4 resources, attack with that Yaddle, and then drop a 4-drop on top of that. So not only did I get the extra 3 points of damage onto the base, but I was able to put a 2/4 Sentinel into space, or 2/6 Sentinel into space as well, and then give it an an experience token from my leader. So all those little synergies and those little extra XP tokens really do matter at the end of the day, and are super cool. The sideboard I got put together right now is pretty basic, I think. You've got your Sindari Peacekeepers, just because we have a 25-point base. If we run up against decks that are super aggro, we want to bring that in. It does have a big 5 toughness, so it is going to generate the force for us. And so that restore is super important. We have enough restores built into the list already with the Luke Skywalkers to kind of pull us out, and we have enough Sentinels to kind of protect our base, but it's just a little extra insurance policy because we are running a 25-point base. The Chewbacca's, they are not there to be pilots. I did talk about that a little bit earlier about how weak he is, because there's just not a lot of units to put him on. He can be a pilot, but really he's more to bring in against those control matchups, and you just put him on the ground. And he is that 5-drop that you can put out on, turn 2. So let's see, turn 1 you can put out the Jedi Counselor, get your experience counter, put your 3rd resource into play, and go right into a Chewbacca and have just an enormous unit that cannot just be straight defeated. It has to be attacked to get it off the board. And at the same time, you put an experience counter on it as well. So that makes him a very hard threat to deal with. Got a couple Rivals Falls just because there are going to be leaders that you just need to get rid of. And I like cards that say defeat target unit instead of target non-leader unit. So I went ahead and put a couple of those in the sideboard. They are expensive, but with the resupplies now in the deck to kind of shore up that ability to get to those bigger payoffs, I think it's a very good card to have. We've got the Confiscates, the 3 of, because we live in a world right now in this game where upgrades are king, and you just want to make sure that you can deal with any kind of deck that is trying to deploy leaders that are upgrades, or just having upgrades in general. And one of the things you don't want to see is your turn 1 play, after you put a General's Blade on it, be traitorous, and you want to get that back as quick as possible. So they're in the sideboard right now. If I was playing a deck or if I was playing a base and I could pull off the color combinations where I could play a base like Data Vault, then I would have those in the main deck. They just would be. There may even be the ability to squeeze 1 or 2 into the deck list itself by dropping some of the cards that are on the top end. I do believe that the Set 1 Obi-Wan is a card that is spectacular, especially since you can get it out as early as turn 3 with the cost reductions that we have from the General's Blade and the Jedi Counselors, or turn 4 if you resupply on turn 3. That can kind of get you there too. So that puts you at 5 resources plus the 1 from the resupply. That takes you to 6 resources. So that's a nice little thing there. So I like where the deck is right here, but there are still a couple little tweaks that I'm looking at. There might even be a card or two that gets dropped from the list that are in some of the set 5s cards that are in the list right now, but they are definitely not the Jedi Counselor or the General's Blades or any of that top end, except for maybe bringing that Yoda down a little bit. As you notice in our games, I never really got a chance to put Yoda out. Some of that was mistakes from me putting Yoda in my resource pile, and you would have saw in those games where I got to like 10 resources and I could have played him. So I didn't really get to showcase the power of that card, but that card is absolutely ridiculous with Obi-Wan Leader because you basically can use the Force on call. And it might be a reason for Shatterpoint being in the list as well, because you can use the Force in that and then trigger Yoda's second ability, which does 2 times the amount of damage, or 2 times the amount of units that you have on the board as damage to a unit. And that is really crazy, and the size of his body is nuts. He is just really big. So with all those things considered, I think this list is pretty close to what might be representative of a near meta list that we might see kind of get up there in the top tiers of the worlds if Obi-Wan does make a splash, especially in Obi-Wan Blue. So with that said, just wanted to share this and wrap up the video here. Again, thanks for watching. Make sure you come out this Saturday, the 28th, for both the Magic event and the Star Wars Unlimited event that's happening at Animal House. And whether it's day or night, this is On The Play Games, wishing you well, and may the Force be with you. Cheers.